In case you're out of the loop, people like Asman believe that the government basically smeared Gamergate. What? People think that like domestic news producers actually were paid by the government to attack gamers? Like the government was doing Gamergate? I quit. I have to. I can't do this any longer. I think I might be done. I think we have officially reached a level of stupidity that I could not foresee us ever reaching. This is the dumbest, most self-involved, most self-entitled, most self-elevated story of all time. If you truly believe this, if you even entertain this as a thought, okay, you have to be institutionalized for your own safety. This is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. People will learn about like Operation Mockingbird, and then they'll turn around and be like, well, this was still continuing with Gamergate.
Right here.
Asmongold hits the nail on the head about woke journalists. I want these people to suffer because that's what they did to me. What goes around comes around, and we're coming. You should have left my video games alone.
I'll show you. Like, people think I'm crazy. I'm not. Look at this. People wonder our tax.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Getting back to the most pressing issue of all time. How Politico actually got paid by the federal government to undermine gamers. Which is really funny because the exact opposite actually happened. Where someone actually did work with gamers in general and was very closely associated with Donald Trump. His name is Steve Bannon. And he actively used Breitbart to try to drum up Gamergate narratives, knowing full well that it would be very helpful. They'd be willing participants who would be helpful in doing propaganda for the Trump administration if he were to win. This is literally real. So if there's one aspect of the government that has been pro-gamer, it is Steve Bannon and the Trump administration by way of Steve Bannon. Remember that this is the average American IQ before the Department of Education is dismantled. Gamergates being freaks and then being mad at people covering them being freaks. Yeah, how could they have done this to me?
People wonder our tax dollars used to promote wokeness in video games. Answer is yes. USAID paid Politico millions of dollars a year to write pieces like this one, which promotes diversity and describes Gamergate as...
Dude, oh my God. This is just wrong, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's just wrong. Okay? The worst part about it is that things like what they are suspecting with USAID have occurred in the past in terms of like the State Department aligning itself with media directly, the CIA actively infiltrating American media as well in an effort to manufacture consent. Nowadays, it's more nefarious. Nowadays, there is no direct involvement, especially when it comes to domestic media, okay? Or the direct involvement is out in the open when you have a guy like John Bolton speak on CNN, okay? And say things like, yeah, I've done a lot of coups. In terms of USAID, they paid for a subscription-based service similar to a Bloomberg terminal, okay? Politico Pro. It's real-time. It's a real-time newswire. That's it. It's worse than what these guys suspect. They don't need to pay Politico to do pro-State Department propaganda, okay? Dude, who is even on your side amongst political streamers? Are you on your own? There's plenty of awesome political content creators and political streamers in general that recognize the truth. Okay? How is he so popular, man? Is it that easy? Yes, it is that easy. Straight up. Claiming that the USAID actually funded Politico to write articles and influence articles, specifically targeting gamers, by the way, okay, is like saying they actually funded Microsoft to also target gamers because they bought Excel. They bought Microsoft Word subscriptions. I can't believe it. How deep does this rabbit hole go? It's ironic, though, because the real way that there is like active glad handling happening with American media when they're covering domestic issues and the American government is done by way of access journalism. There are a million different ways in which the government could also actively fund these outlets as well. whether it be giving them grants or whether it be, buying advertising space if they chose to do so. And they do that sort of stuff anyway. Doing it through USAID would be one of the silliest ways to do it.
As disinformation and harassment campaign. So this is the thing, guys.
Yeah. They covered Gamergate because USAID has a designated task force in between trying to, I don't know, undermine the Cuban government by setting up like a fake internet, okay? Or I don't know, another failed initiative where they try to like task rappers in rapping about how Fidel Castro sucks or whatever, on Cuban soil. They're actually on the weekends spending time attacking gamers. Nobody gives a in the grand scheme of things. Nobody cares about gamers. If you think that there's this level of interest in the government oppressing gamers, you are out of your mind. I don't know what to tell you. I cannot believe that this is like actual commentary on the realm of politics, and it's getting a lot of motion. It's 700,000 views. Yeah, the U.S. government made Stellar Blade's titties smaller. We must investigate. We are the most persecuted minority. I can't believe that we've gotten here. This is reality now.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
That's where we're at now. Like, low key, this is not even something shit that we used to joke about in terms of like, oh no, you came after gamers, is like unironically a rallying call now. Okay? It's no longer a meme. It's reality. People do legitimately believe this. It's crazy. Yeah. Asmongold is the Fred Hampton of Gamergate, okay? A real threat to the established order is gamers. The American government does not want you to jerk off to big-tittied main characters, okay? They do not want that. They will do everything to stop that.
These people to suffer because that's what they did to me. I want to set an example.
What did they do to Asmongold? Like, what is happening? What have they done to Asmongold? They made his games bad? Oh my God.
Get rid of these people. Put them like completely out of their jobs. Get rid of them. Make an example of them. Say, listen, this is what happens. Gamers rise up. What goes around? Yep. What goes around comes.
Someone in the chat said, how do they make you suffer?
Comes around. And we're coming.
4 years of a destruction of my favorite games. Fight fire with fire. Like, this reads as a parody. And if someone had actually sent this to me as a joke, and they were like, look, Asmongold is doing parody of like the sweatiest nerd you've ever seen. Isn't this funny? I'd be like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. It's pretty solid in terms of parody. Turns out it's not. This is something truly. This is something that like, you know, lolly PFP accounts unironically believe. I don't know. But he didn't want to cover the Epstein stuff. Oh yeah, Asmongold didn't want to cover the sex pestiny stuff, but he has no problem rehashing the same over and over again. Hasan showed Nick a music video of the Houthis. I wonder why. And sex pestiny goes after Asmongold all the time, and I think it's partially because he's afraid. He's afraid of the Diddy G wrath. He does not want Diddy G coming after him. Anyway, hey, I'm sorry. Can you explain what any of this has to do with gamers, Gamergate, or Asmon? It literally doesn't. The truth has nothing to do with gamers, Gamergate, or Asmongold. But the truth does not matter. Okay? That's the point. Because Asmongold is claiming that on top of this misinformation that came out, that he wanted to add his own layer of silliness to the conversation by, I guess, reading a tweet from a lolly account, a lolly PFP account, that claimed that Politico was actually getting paid by USAID to do anti-gamer coverage. It's probably the most ridiculous thing that could have come out of this. It's so ridiculous. I feel like even the Fox News people would laugh at this shit. You spending all 2025 on media literacy of your colleagues? What do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? one, you guys sent me this link, and two, Asmongold is currently the biggest political content creator on this platform. Okay, it still stems from misinformation coming from the president. So it's not like Asmongold is just like making shit up on his own. Okay, he's adding on to the pre-existing fake that's running around.